Biblical Archaeology 1.
Quote, "Much of the Bible, in particular the historical books of the Old Testament, are as accurate historical documents as any that we have from antiquity and are in fact more accurate than many of the Egyptian, Mesopotamian, or Greek histories." Smithsonian Department of Anthropology. The Bible records the history of the relationship between God and the children of Abraham. Archaeology confirms many of the historical details mentioned in the Bible.
In this video series, we discuss various examples. Archaeology is often referred to as the best friend of the Bible, and for good reason.
See why below.
Old Testament.
Much of the Bible, in particular the historical books of the Old Testament, are as accurate historical documents as any that we have from antiquity and are in fact more accurate than many of the Egyptian, Mesopotamian, or Greek histories.
These biblical records can be and are used as are other ancient documents in archaeological work. For the most part, historical events described took place and the people cited really existed. The Smithsonian Department of Anthropology.
I have come to the conviction that no man knows enough to attack the veracity of the Old Testament. Every time when anyone has been able to get together enough documentary proofs to undertake an investigation, the biblical facts in the original text have victoriously met the test.
R.D. Wilson, quoted in R. Patch, The Inspiration and Authority of Scripture. Robert D. Wilson was an American linguist and Presbyterian Old Testament scholar who devoted his life to prove the reliability of the Hebrew Bible.
In his quest to determine the accuracy of the original manuscripts, Wilson learned 45 languages, including Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, as well as all the languages into which the scriptures had been translated, up to 600 AD. While at Princeton University, he was able to read the New Testament in 9 languages. He graduated from Princeton at the age of 20, later receiving a master's degree and doctorate before doing postgraduate work in Germany at the Humboldt University of Berlin. In 1900, he returned to Princeton as the William Henry Green Professor of Semitic Languages and Old Testament Criticism at Princeton Theological Seminary. Wilson wrote A Scientific Investigation of the Old Testament, which pointed out that the names of 29 kings from 10 nations, Egypt, Assyria, Babylon and more, are mentioned not only in the Bible but are also found on monuments of their own time. Every single name is transliterated in the Old Testament exactly as it appears on the archaeological artifact, syllable for syllable, consonant for consonant. The chronological order of the kings is correct. I have excavated for 30 years with a Bible in one hand and a trowel in the other, and in matters of historical perspective, I have never yet found the Bible to be in error.
Professor Nelson Gluck.
It may be stated categorically that no archaeological discovery has ever controverted a biblical reference. Nelson Gluck, 1900 to 1971, was an American rabbi, academic and archaeologist. He served as president of Hebrew Union College from 1947 until his death, and his pioneering work in biblical archaeology resulted in the discovery of 1,500 ancient sites. He earned a Ph.D. in Biblical Studies, University of Jena, Germany, B.A., University of Cincinnati, B.H.L., Hebrew Union College. There can be no doubt that archaeology has confirmed the substantial historicity of Old Testament traditions.
William F. Albright, American archaeologist, biblical scholar, philologist, and expert on ceramics, and is considered one of the 20th century's most influential American biblical scholars. Although primarily a biblical archaeologist, Albright was a polymath who made contributions in almost every field of Near Eastern studies. Albright became known to the public for his role in the authentication of the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1948, but made his scholarly reputation as the leading theorist and practitioner of biblical archaeology, that branch of archaeology that sheds light upon the social and political structure, the religious concepts and practices and other human activities and relationships that are found in the Bible or pertain to peoples mentioned in the Bible. Ph.D., Semitic Languages, Johns Hopkins University. Old Testament archaeology has rediscovered whole nations, resurrected important peoples, and in a most astonishing manner filled in historical gaps, adding immeasurably to the knowledge of biblical backgrounds. Merrill Unger, Bible commentator, scholar, archaeologist, and theologian. He was a prolific writer who authored some 40 books. Unger was also a well-known biblical archaeologist and encyclopedist. A.B. and Ph.D., Johns Hopkins University, Th.M. and Th.D. Dallas Theological Seminary. What is amazing about the Bible is that very often we see that it is very accurate and sometimes amazingly accurate. Eilat Mazar, Israeli archaeologist, specializing in Jerusalem and Phoenician archaeology, found King David's palace relying on the Bible as one of her many tools in 2005,
From Using the Bible as Her Guide, Ph.D. Archaeology, Hebrew University, 1997. Former head of Shalom Center's Institute of Archaeology. Conclusion. Many historical details from the Bible have been confirmed by archaeology. And there is no biblical narrative that has been falsified by archaeology. The Bible can be trusted as a collection of historical documents. Thanks to Michael Moat for compiling this information. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.